The theatre in Singapore holds historical value as a platform to challenge the status quo. But theatre makers here consistently face restrictions on their freedom of expression. In 2016, the Singapore staging of the popular musical Les Miserables was forced to remove a scene that contained a same-sex kiss. This is one of the many instances of state intervention in the expression of the theatre in Singapore.
Gay kisses are always a point of contention. So I've written a play or two where there have been gay kisses, and it's always like, will this kiss, how long will this kiss last for? What kind of a kiss is it?
How long
like,
did the kiss last?
Yeah, it's kind of like the bureaucratic equivalent of asking, was there tongue? You know?
Plays are only funded and licensed after scripts have been approved by the authorities. In dealing with potentially controversial issues, there are no clear guidelines to follow. This may mean that part of a script have to be censored accordingly, or it would threaten the success of the production.
If the theatre company thinks it's fine, but eventually MDA doesn't think so, and then NAC would eventually cut down your funding for the following year, which was what happened to Wild Rice. There are no clear guidelines. It's sort of vaguely shouldn't touch on religion, shouldn't be sexually explicit, those kinds of, but it's not clearly stated.
With new developments in the local arts infrastructure, Singapore aims to become a global arts hub. Some say that this aspiration has economic and utilitarian origins, in which the theatre acts as a platform to attract more tourist dollars. But with the unrelenting hold of censorship over the art form, theatre practitioners are skeptical that this is attainable. Alfian Saad, a renowned playwright, expressed that it is impossible for Singapore's theatre scene to progress with these restrictions in place.
There is a particular system which rewards young people for agreeing with the status quo. So on one hand you would say, young people, they're going to bring their idealism and new ways of thinking into the system. But sometimes I think the way the system has been constructed is almost irresistible. Unless these things are tackled, very fundamental things, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, I think all your aspirations are going to be in vain.
Many theatre practitioners argue then that the position of the theatre in Singapore needs to be addressed in ways which are not purely economic.
The effect it is on an audience member, a live performance, is I think it's much more visceral and more immediate and more intimate, that you feel that it actually speaks to you. That's the function of the theatre, to affect its audience and the audience and the society out of which the audience comes. But with censorship, that is, of course, in Singapore much more limited.
The essence of the theatre is not about control or money. At its core, the theatre is about human conversations. It seems clear that Singapore's theatre scene still has a ways to go before it can call itself truly a home for the arts. The first step towards this, perhaps, is forging a new relationship between Singapore society and the theatre. One of the ways is to participate in conversations about theatre by giving direct feedback or going for Q&A sessions organized by the theatre companies. Ultimately, the public needs to be more involved in the conversation about censorship. Only by taking into consideration the public's needs and views can the local theatre scene move towards a new and more open beginning.